Tonight on Nebraska Nightly, a Lincoln man is facing $1 million bond.
Plus, the Secretary of State's office publishes Nebraska's 2024 official election calendar.
And another Lincoln man is sentenced to 58 years in prison. This is Nebraska Nightly.
Live from the Don and Lorena Meyer studio at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Journalism and Mass Communications, this is Nebraska Nightly.
Lancaster County announced they will be sending the final payments to the Lincoln Airport Authority next week.
All of this is in hopes to fully clear up everything for Redway passengers and for them to get reimbursed. This is our top story today. I'm Elena Tomish.
And I'm Peyton Polad. The $700,000 payment will be sent November 9th to complete Lancaster County's obligation under the initial agreement made between the county, City of Lincoln, and the Airport Authority that was supposed to help fund Redway. Despite the payment, the Lancaster County Board expressed ongoing concerns on the number of Redway customers still waiting for refunds. They purchased tickets from the airline before they suddenly closed on August 31st. As of October, about 600 people had yet to receive refunds. The county said in a statement they have no ability to provide refunds directly to these affected Redway customers, saying now the final payment is being issued to the Airport Authority. The county encourages the Airport Authority and Redway to agree on the next steps necessary to make Redway customers whole. Redway customers who are still seeking a refund are encouraged to contact the U.S. Department of Transportation or Office of Aviation Consumer Protection.
Well, many of us are wondering if we are needing those hats and those coats nearby. Meteorologist Dominic Ferraro is here with more. Dominic, is winter closer than we think?
Well, at the start of the week, it would sure seem so. However, things are finally starting to return to normal. Looking ahead to this weekend, the Huskers travel to East Lansing, Michigan to take on the Michigan State Spartans. Looking to start your morning 6 a.m. 43 degrees, will cool off a little bit around 8 a.m. Mostly cloudy skies. However, come game time, kickoff is at 11 a.m. Partly cloudy skies, 47 degrees for your high. Looking pretty nice, partly cloudy, much different story than we saw last week. Winds will be relatively calm. If there is any, we'll be expecting them out of the northeast at less than 5 miles per hour. And as things go through the afternoon, 2 p.m., we'll see cloudy skies and 51 degrees to close things out. Perfect fall football weather if you ask me, and I think tomorrow Nebraska finally gets that bowl game win we've been looking for, and we'll move to 6 wins in the season, beating Michigan State 21-6. We'll have your current conditions and what the rest of the weather this week looks for the capital city after the break. Thank you. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Dominic. The Nebraska Secretary of State's office released the official 2024 election calendar for Nebraska. The calendar sets out election dates and other significant election reminders regarding the 2024 election year. There are several new dates, including deadlines implemented by the new voter ID law. The new voter ID requirement will go into effect for the May primary next year. It will be enforced for every election after that. Secretary Bob Evans' office says more educational material and in-person events will be published and advertised in the coming months. You can view the 2024 official election calendar on the Nebraska Secretary of State's website.
Well, a Lincoln man is accused of assaulting a pregnant woman. The Lincoln police found the woman after a call was made for asking for a welfare check. The victim had bruising and reported abuse to the police. The woman was taken to the hospital where she had an emergency cesarean section. Ian Togan is charged with 7 felony counts, including 3 for assault. Togan is being held at a $1 million bond. He is set to go back to court in December.
A Lincoln man will likely be spending the rest of his life behind bars. 54-year-old Walter Keever must serve a minimum 50 years of a 58-year sentence. The sentencing came earlier in the week after his conviction for sexually assaulting an 18-year-old girl with developmental disabilities. His record includes burglary in 2008 and a child sex crime in 2005.
Well, this nation's largest nonprofit group calls Lincoln the most livable community in Nebraska. AARP Nebraska announced the 10 top scoring livable communities in Nebraska as part of the new AARP Livability Index. The index examines factors that support people as they age, including housing, transportation, the environment, and health status. Lincoln is number 1 on the list, followed by Holdridge, Blair, Seward, Sidney, and Lancaster County took number 1 in the state for livable counties. Lincoln also placed 11th in the nation on the livability index for cities with 100,000 to 500,000 people.
Coming up after the break. The U.S. government is increasing aid to Israel.
Gas prices look to be going down slowly.
And the FDA proposes a ban on a common substance found in soda, all after the break.
Blood never stops. And at the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, your blood could help save lives. Right now, only 7% of the population donates blood. But imagine if there were more.
We're sitting at below a 7-day level of supply of all blood types across the board. So every blood type is important, and we need all donors of all types to come in and donate right now.
At the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, they believe that all types make a strong blood supply.
3, 2, 1.
This is Nebraska Nightly.
If you're a student at UNL and have ever been interested in reporting or video production, Nebraska Nightly is your place.
Big Bob!
Here you can build creative skills, no matter how much experience you have.
Our equipment is very, very high level here, and it's something that a lot of times a lot of people wouldn't get to access until they're kind of in a professional workspace.
Talk to a UNL advisor about joining Nebraska Nightly.
Well, welcome back. We are finally in November, and meteorologist Dominic Ferraro is here with a look at our 7-day forecast. Dominic?
Well, Elena, as they're all saying, I can't believe it's November. And right now, we've got a treat when it comes to the forecast. Mostly cloudy skies, currently 61 degrees here in the capital city. Winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Looking ahead into this evening, we're going to stay mostly cloudy, low of 37 degrees, and winds will be out of the north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. However, we're expecting an upper level disturbance to make its way through the area, bringing us the potential for showers tonight and into early tomorrow morning. Partly cloudy skies for the rest of your Saturday and a high of 60 degrees. Winds out of the south-southwest at 5 miles per hour. And on Sunday, daylight saving time ends. And what that means for us, we'll lose an hour, or we'll fall back an hour at 2 a.m. Sunday morning. And what that means for your sunrise and sunset. Sunrise now looking to be around 7 a.m. and sunset just a quarter after 5 p.m. Looking ahead to your surface analysis, pretty quiet across most of the parts of the country here. Cold front worked its way through the area earlier today. However, not much impact on our temperature here. And we have a high pressure system across the northern part of the country. That's going to keep us pretty moderate throughout the rest of the week. 60 degrees Saturday and Sunday, mostly sunny skies, 70 degrees. So if you have any weekend plans, Sunday is definitely the time to get out and do those. We'll start the week mostly partly cloudy skies in the upper 60s. As we move into Wednesday, mostly sunny skies on Wednesday, and we'll look to be partly cloudy for the rest of the week. Highs are expected to be in the upper 50s. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Dominic. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is meeting with Israeli officials in Tel Aviv to discuss steps the country could use to minimize civilian deaths. This comes as the Israeli military says it is surrounding Gaza City. John Lornick reports on Congress's latest attempt to send more funds to Israel and Ukraine.
The skies of northern Gaza illuminated with flares and explosives Thursday night. The bombings, which started shortly after last month's Hamas attack on Israel, have devastated the region, leaving many sections in shambles and claiming more than 9,000 lives.
The school was bombed and we got scared and kept crying. Then we kept walking, and went to the other school. It was very horrifying. We were scared.
President Joe Biden and other U.S. officials are warning Israel that the global outcry about the humanitarian suffering in Gaza could make it difficult for Israel to move forward with its military goals.
They are making efforts to try to minimize civilian casualties. That does not mean, and I did not say, that they aren't still causing some, that their operations aren't still causing some. They are, and each one's tragic.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives passed a bill that provides more than $14 billion in aid to Israel. The GOP-led bill rescinds funds that had been allocated to the IRS and would be separate from any legislation on aid to Ukraine. However, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the bill is flawed.
Instead, we will work together on our own bipartisan emergency aid package that includes aid to Israel, Ukraine, competition with the Chinese government, and humanitarian aid for Gaza.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
President Biden and national security officials have also increased calls for humanitarian pauses in the war so that aid can flow into the area and help facilitate the release of hostages.
Well, gas prices continue to go down at a slow but steady rate. Flat demand and lower costs for oil helped bring down the average price for a gallon of unleaded to $3.44. That's 9 cents less than last week and 37 cents lower than last month. Of course, gas prices vary widely across the country, but AAA reports that there are a few places where you might be able to find a gas for less than $2 a gallon.
The Food and Drug Administration is proposing to ban the use of brominated vegetable oil, an additive found in some sodas. The FDA say brominated vegetable oil, or BVO, is no longer considered safe after animal studies showed it is toxic to the thyroid gland. BVO is used mostly in citrus-flavored beverages. California banned BVO last month, becoming the first state in the U.S. to do so. The ingredient is already banned in Europe and Japan. The FDA will be taking public comments on the proposed ban through January 17th. In 1970, the FDA removed BVO from its list of substances that are generally recognized as safe. As a result, many beverage companies began to reformulate their products to replace BVO. Coming up after the break, the 2024 Nebraska football schedule is here.
And Nebraska basketball season is around the corner.
And a special interview with a UNL alum, all after the break.
Don't let it happen to other Big Ten schools. Go to saveourdinos.org to learn more.
Of the 40 million tons of plastic waste generated in the U.S. in 2021, only 5%, or 2 million tons, was recycled. Make sure you do your part in keeping Anderson Hall clean. For more information on recycling statistics, visit epa.gov today.
Welcome back. Well, Nebraska football is making a road trip, but they've got a glimpse at next season. Nathan Hawkins is here with more sports. Nathan.
Thanks, Elena. As Nebraska looks ahead for their matchup with Michigan State this weekend, they also look ahead to next season, as the 2024 schedule was released yesterday. It's the tale of two halves of the season. In the first 6 games, the Huskers hit the road just once. They opened the season at home against UTEP before taking on Colorado, Northern Iowa, Illinois, Purdue, and Rutgers. But the test gets tougher after that. Check out the second half of the season. A true gauntlet for the Huskers. First is Indiana, but then it's Ohio State, UCLA, USC, Wisconsin, and then Iowa. Starting strong will certainly be of the utmost importance, but right now they're focused on their trip to East Lansing this weekend. Hear what Matt Rule had to say about the matchup with the Spartans.
Walking into another team stadium, especially a place like Michigan State, you know, a place that I respect. I'm excited to watch these guys go play, and it should be, like I said, I expect this to be a great football game with two physical, blue-collar, tough teams.
Let's take a look at the matchup with the Spartans. Nebraska comes in as 3-point favorites. They lead the all-time series 9-3. The last time these teams matched up, stop me if you've heard this one before, Nebraska blew a fourth quarter lead. Matt Rule said he expects a close one, and the proof is in the context. The last 4 matchups between the two teams have been decided by just one score. Kickoff is set for 11 a.m. on FS1. Let's head to Columbus, Ohio for the Big Ten tournament semifinal match between number 15 Nebraska and number 12 Wisconsin. 16th minute, Arissa Mart fires it into the back of the net and puts the Badgers up early. 10 minutes later, Sarah Weber banks it off the post and into the net. We're all tied at the half. 52nd minute now, Wisconsin's Emma Jaskanik chips it over Sammy Hawk for the goal. The Badgers bounce Nebraska from the Big Ten tournament 3-1, but Nebraska's season likely not over. They're projected to be selected to the NCAA tournament. They will find out on Monday. The number 1 volleyball team in the country resides in Lincoln, but they hit the road this weekend. First up, a trip to University Park, Pennsylvania to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions. First serve is tonight at 7:30. And Sunday, they travel to New Jersey to take on Rutgers. That game is slated to begin at noon. Need something to brighten your Monday? How about some basketball? Both men and women's hoops begin their regular season at the start of next week. The women's team tips off at noon against Northwestern State before the men's team takes the hardwood against Lindenwood at 7 p.m. For the first time ever, the Texas Rangers are world baseball champions, and a co-JMC alum had a front row seat. Krista Reicher, a 2000 UNL graduate, is a senior director of ballpark entertainment for the Rangers. For the final games of the World Series, the team flew him out to Arizona to watch the Rangers hoist the commissioner's trophy. But he found a few minutes to chat with me about his career, journey, and once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Joining me today is the Senior Director of Ballpark Entertainment for the Texas Rangers. Chris, thank you so much for finding a few minutes with me today.
No problem. Enjoy it.
When you're not a fan, which is obviously just for this kind of rare occasion that you get to be, what are your duties include?
So ballpark entertainment, when a fan walks into a major league ballpark, we want them to have a complete experience from beginning to end. And we want someone to have such a good time that no matter what the score is on the field, win, lose, or draw, did they have a good enough time that would say, you know what, I'm going to go spend my entertainment dollars with the Rangers.
A lot of your job then is it's a live production. You have to hit a button, you have to trust your gut, and you have to go. Does that attract you? Just the, I guess, adrenaline rush when you're in the moment and you have to make quick decisions?
Yeah, 100%. I told somebody the other day, this is the most addictive job that I can imagine out there, because if I was done tomorrow, I'm not sure what I would do with myself, because once you have produced a show in front of 40,000 people and you've heard the roar of the crowd, and again, it's not you doing it, it's the team on the field that's driving it, but it is my job to incentivize it. I don't even know if that's a word. I don't even know if that, but I'm supposed to add to it.
So you say you started at Husker Vision, and then can you walk me through your career? What happened after that?
So I'm in Spanish class, and a friend of mine, Brandon Meyer, and I was like, "What are you doing after class?" And he goes, "Well, I'm going to shoot Husker football practice." And I was like, "Oh, really? What's that all about?" And that piqued my interest. And he told me about Husker Vision, and I said, "Dudes, please, whatever, I will do whatever. Just sign me up." And man, I tell you what, I was all in from that moment. I spent every waking moment. If I wasn't at the journalism school, I was at Husker Vision. I was never at home. I was learning everything and anything I could.
This season, this has been quite a year for the Rangers. You've had a front row view. You've been part of that experience. What has it meant to you to be a part of that, to have that front row seat?
Yeah, it's meant everything. We only won 68 games last year, and it was a train wreck. And now all of a sudden we win 90 plus. We're in the World Series. We're 2 games away from winning it all. And so truly, I get this text all the time, man, enjoy the ride. And I'm like, I really am. I'm enjoying the ride.
It's happened! The Texas Rangers win the World Series!
Well, Chris, he's been working in professional baseball for 23 seasons. He's only had 3 winning seasons in total, But now, obviously, he gets to enjoy the World Series victory. And the cherry on top, he will get a World Series ring to add to his collection.
That is incredible. And the coolest part of that is he's a Husker. That's got to be the coolest thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You come to the Coach AMC, you can go do cool things. He's proof of that.
Yes, awesome. Well, thank you, Nathan. Coming up after the break, calling all runners. Lincoln's Good Life Halvesy will be happening this Sunday.
Plus, looking for a fun way to get the kids out of the house, Lincoln Airport has a cool approach on a movie night.
And Elton John sold his Atlanta home for how much? Stick with us.
Three, two, one.
This is Nebraska Nightly.
If you're a student at UNL and have ever been interested in reporting or video production, Nebraska Nightly is your place.
Big boss!
Here you can build creative skills no matter how much experience you have.
Our equipment is very, very high level here, and it's something that a lot of people wouldn't get to access until they're kind of in a professional workspace.
Talk to a UNL advisor about joining Nebraska Nightly.
Welcome back. Well, there are so many fun events taking place this weekend in the capital city.
And Priscilla Castaneda is here with the latest. Priscilla?
Thanks, Peyton. The Lincoln Outdoor Movie Series is starting. The movie Up is going to play tonight. You will find the film at the west side of the Lincoln Airport. People are allowed to stay in their cars or can bring chairs and blankets to sit on the grass. Parking is at 6 p.m. and no one will be able to enter after 9 p.m. Don't worry, staff will help you to park your vehicle. The 7th annual Movember Showcase is tomorrow at the Bay. It's a night of music and to speak up about men's mental health. There will be a speaker and a silent auction. Admission is $5. The NFR Paddle Barrel Race starts today and continues to Sunday. Today starts at 5 p.m., tomorrow at 2:30 p.m., and Sunday at 9:30 p.m. a.m. This barrel race is held at the Lancaster County Event Center. There's going to be big money and prizes, so bring your boots and cash because this is going to be an exciting weekend. On your mark, get set, go to the Good Life Halvesy Marathon this Sunday. The race begins at Seacrest Field with bag check at 7:30 to 8:15. And the starting gun goes off at 8:30 a.m. Dress warm because it is going to be cold. For you guys running, don't forget your running shoes and to have fun. That's all for entertainment this week. I hope you guys have a nice weekend. Back to you guys at the desk.
Great, thank you, Priscilla. Well, Elton John just sold his Atlanta condominium in one of the most expensive condo purchases deals in the city's history. The Wall Street Journal reports the roughly 13,500 square foot residence sold for upwards of $7.2 million just a few weeks after hitting the market. That was about 45% more than the nearly $5 million asking price. John's primary residence is in England, and the Rocket Man singer used his Atlanta residence as his U.S. home base for decades. He listed the condo for sale in September after recently finishing his farewell tour. The listing agent wouldn't say who bought it, but says they are local and paid in all cash. Wow, I just can't even imagine paying that much for a house right now.
No kidding, and I would love to see that in person.
Oh my gosh,
the
the pianos in there have to be insane.
Yes,
yeah.
definitely. As warmer temps have finally come around, I'm wondering if winter is really around the corner. Meteorologist Dominic Ferraro is here with one last look at the weather. Dominic?
Thank you, Peyton. Looking ahead at your 3-day outlook, we'll see partly cloudy skies on Saturday. And however, take a look at that low temperature Saturday night into Sunday, as Priscilla said. Could be a little chilly on Sunday morning for that Good Life Halvesy. However, by the end of the day, we'll see mostly sunny skies and a high of 70 degrees. Then you start your Monday, partly cloudy skies and a high of 67. And it's finally nice to see we might have kicked the winter for just a little bit longer and seeing fairly reasonable temperatures going forward.
It's like a challenge. How long can we prolong winter this season?
No kidding.
We're looking good for now. However, I wouldn't get your hopes up. It's Nebraska. It could change in a dime. We could be talking about snow next week.
I might kick out the flip-flops and the shorts this weekend. I don't know. It's looking good to me.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Dominic. Well, Nebraska Nightly is a production of the University of Nebraska's College of Journalism and Mass Communications.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next Friday at 4:30. Have a good night.